What's up, everybody? Vakasa Kavi here. So, we are diving into a intense topic today. This is crazy, the situation going on with P. Diddy. I first watched what was going on with that with 5-star reactions this morning. Kudos to 5-star reactions. Everybody go show him some love. He's a really great reactor and he's very good at covering news and giving his honest opinions and analyzing those kinds of things. I really enjoy watching his videos and hearing his perspectives on things. So everybody go show 5-star reactions some love. First off, Upchurch is a really important voice when it comes to these kinds of things. He's been talking out on this for many years now, speaking up and standing up for these kinds of situations that go on in the world for quite some time now. So I really would like to hear what he has to say about all of this. And with that being said, Creek Squad, thank you guys for tuning in to this one. I appreciate all of you guys supporting over the years. Thank you for supporting me in my recovery journey. It truly means the world to me that we have a community here, that we can spread positivity and blessings and love with each other, encourage each other to be better every single day. This video is going to be probably a real touchy one and a very deep one, so we're just going to listen to what Church has to say. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get into this and see what Church has to say about this.
Alright, so let's talk about this P. Diddy shit real quick. So according to the internet, apparently yesterday, 2 of his houses got raided for ongoing sex trafficking investigation. One house in Los Angeles, California, and the other one in Miami, Florida. And apparently, when that happened, P. Diddy's plane left from California, then stopped at a chain of islands in the Caribbean, an island called Antigua, for gas or something. And it was headed towards a place called Cape Verde.
That is so isolated.
But here's the thing, there's something wrong with that. It's the same source is saying that he was seen at this airport called Opelika on the outskirts of Miami. If he was seen at that airport, then he couldn't have been on his...
Notice how that's like right beside Hollywood, Florida. Isn't that a little bit ironic, right? Just wanted to point that out real quick. That is literally right beside Hollywood, Florida.
Airplane that left California. And here's why. Because if his plane left from Los Angeles, California, then went to the Caribbean to head to a place called Cape Verde, he wouldn't have stopped in Miami. Second off, why would he do that? If his house in California is getting raided and he left from there on an airplane, why would you stop at the other house that's getting raided for the police to intercept you when your plane lands? Not only that, check this out. So 2 of his houses got raided, right? Okay. Why is there only footage of one of his houses getting raided? Not only that, but in the footage they do have of one house getting raided, how is the news helicopter or whatever, how is that in the air, ready to go, and already filming exactly when the raid's going on, when they're pulling people out of the house? Either that was the most non-secretive raid ever, the high-up law enforcement just chit-chats with the news stations, it's like, hey, guess what? Or the news station is just a fucking psychic or something. It's little details that matter to me. So here's another little detail. So every news thing that I've seen talking about this is saying that he's headed towards a place called Cape Verde, C-A-P-E Verde. There is no Cape Verde on Google Earth. There's a Cabo Verde. You can type in Cape Verde, but that ain't what it's called on Google Earth. I mean, what are you gonna say? Some people say it different. I mean, you can't spell Tennessee any other way except for the way it's already spelled. Here's what I don't understand. If you get off Google Earth and go to Google Maps, both made by Google, Google Maps has a Cape Verde, has it spelled that way, but Google Earth does not. I don't understand the point of that. Another thing, is it P. Diddy's house? Technically, we need to know, because some sources are saying it's P. Diddy's house. Other sources are saying it's not his house, it's not in his name, it's in his daughter's name, and it's in an LLC called Bad Boy Films. So is it or is it not? Another thing, what's up with the jets? Everybody's like, oh yeah, look, P. Diddy's jet. Why is some people posting white ones and some people posting black ones? What color is the jet? I'm not really questioning any of these things. I'm trying to get the viewer who's watching this video right now to notice this pattern. What is up with this pattern? Left, right, red, blue,
Yeah.
1, 2. They raided both houses, but we only got some of this house. It's a black jet. It's a white jet. He stopped it at this airport. He didn't stop at the airport. He's on the plane. He's not on the plane. What is up with...
That's what social media and the actual news media does to situations like this one. It's like so drastic and so important what's happening, and what it's about, the sex trafficking and everything, is absolutely terrible, and getting to the bottom of these kinds of things is paramount. And when you have all this, like he said, different directions going, different shades of the way that it's being said and the way it's being presented, how is anyone to know what's actually true or not? And that's how they keep getting away with this kind of stuff, is because the shades get painted with so many different brushes that nobody knows what to actually believe with it or not, even though deep down we really all do know the truth already, you know?
This pattern that seems like it's like shittily designed to confuse people who watch the internet.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. If you had solid information that was the true timeline, that people knew what they were talking about, you wouldn't have that many theories about what could have possibly happened. If you have one majorly fucked up, stupid sounding story about somebody, and they actually did something, then there's going to be thousands of theories and thousands of people arguing about what theory of theirs is better. While whatever the person actually did, no one cares, because you're too busy arguing about who's right about the fucking theory. Then if the person actually did something bad that you're theorizing did something, and you're arguing and all these theories are multiplying and everybody's fucking misconstruing the information, then they get away. They get away. Because you spend too much time bullshitting. Like
they're given the window to get away is what happens, because the talking is happening too many ways in the wrong direction, and by the time it heads in the right direction and everybody decides they're done arguing and just accepts it for what it is and comes to the same truth, it's already gone into the wind and nothing's done. That's exactly how they do it. They pull the curtain over the eyes long enough that by the time it's lifted again, there's nothing left on the stage to look at, right?
all these true crime channels being like, all we need to do is speculate, speculate, speculate. Now, how about you just fucking read the facts and just speculate about those facts?
Yeah.
And don't speculate about an imaginary thing that coulda, shoulda, and woulda happened. Like, dude, seriously, like 60% of the true crime channels, do you know what you're actually doing? You are speculating someone's speculation. Do you think you're going to figure out something doing that? And if you're not doing that, you're staying neutral on purpose and not saying or putting any input in and just going with the majority. And I hate to break it to you, but the real investigators don't have investigating YouTube channels. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But getting back to some real shit,
Yeah,
that pattern I
that's
was
fact.
talking about earlier.
That's true. That's true. And like if a person was like a private investigator or something, and that was their job, I don't think they'd be going on YouTube and like private investigating like that. You know what I mean? They're gonna be laid back. Nobody's gonna know who they are. If they tell you their name, it might not even be their actual name. Like, it's that kind of thing. That's how like private investigators actually are, right? So it's like, I understand where he's coming from with that. Like, it's a very fine line between being damaging and being helpful. And I think, just like Church said, reflecting on the direct facts that you can see right in front of you and applying those will usually lead you to the other small factors that are also answers inside of the scenario. But you got to center in on those main facts first and then reflect on those, and that will lead you to the other smaller factors that you need to reach, and then there won't be the argument inside of it, right? just a word of advice there when it comes to communication, really.
That pattern, I've noticed that pattern about 3 years ago. And the first time I ever seen it was in the true crime community on YouTube. And I was like, what is up with this? If they're trying to figure shit out, why are they trying to confuse motherfuckers at the same time? Then when you're doing the same exact thing as they are, except for you're not doing the whole 1, 2, red, blue, is he over here, is he over here? If you're not doing that, they drop whatever they're doing and they fucking attack the shit out of you, and they say that they're right, even though they're not right or wrong. They're actually giving you multiple things that could be right or wrong. But it seems like they're doing it on purpose, because these fucking individual channels have just popped up in the past 3 years. Like a lot of them. And it's like their job is to fuck the information up that gets out to us. When you're trying to figure out something, it's good to get clues. But when you got 10 million clues, and they're just like, the clues keep stacking up, you're never going to get to the end of it. And that's what I think their goal is.
Yeah, that's what I was just talking about. Centering in on just the big factors, because that will lead you to the smaller factors directly once you focus in on those and reflect on those. What Church is saying here, whenever you have a million arguments going on, you'll never even get to the first big fact, because everybody's down here ripping at the ground, so to speak, instead of looking up and realizing that there's only 2 birds in the sky. You see what I mean?
Now, everyone's able to communicate on the internet, and if the whole world is trying to solve one particular thing, then it would get solved really fast.
Yeah.
Unless they just kept adding a bunch of bullshit fucking clues. And I know. Church, they've been doing that forever. I know, but I'm specifically talking about the true crime community on YouTube. There's something up with it. Once again, going back to this pattern. Now, what is up with this? When you look at the P. Diddy stuff going on, and you look back at the Kiely Rodni stuff and everything that me and my friends found, well, with this P. Diddy sex trafficking stuff that everybody's talking about, it involves 3 states. New York, Miami, Florida, Los Angeles, California. Those are the same exact 3 states that we uncovered a bunch of fucking weird LLCs and fucking addresses that were blurred out on Google.
That is correct.
And all this shit was linked to these individual YouTubers that were attacking the fuck out of me because I was trying to do something that everyone else was trying to do, which was solve a YouTube mystery. Well, I think we solved it a little.
See how easily he just pieced that together just by a simple observation of locations, right? In a previous scenario. There's no coincidences, guys. That's what I have to say about that.
But too good, because how are they doing the same exact 1-2 pattern, and the same exact 3 states are popping up in the same exact genre or category of serious crime?
Right.
And what was the main thing we were focused on during the Kiely Rodni shit? A sex trafficking operation.
Yep.
And the closer I got, and the more that I'd done, and the more that I figured out, the more these people were getting irate, these certain YouTubers, to the point where one got so scared that he went to the fucking Caribbean islands. He left Florida, Miami, Florida, which is where he lives. He left there, went to the fucking Caribbean islands. The other YouTuber was a self-proclaimed fucking military drill sergeant lady. Oh yeah, and she apparently worked for NASA. But I made her cry on YouTube because I figured out something. Does that sound like a drill sergeant to you? So you mean to tell me your ass will get in a fucking rocket and go to space, and you'll dodge bullets and train people to be warriors, but your ass don't like criticism on YouTube? Yeah, okay. Now, look at what Grady Judd, the sheriff in Florida, just uncovered about a sex trafficking ring. He said these motherfuckers are calling themselves Air Force members when they're not Air Force members. They're calling themselves cops when they're not cops.
What the
He revealed they were using weird terminology that had to do with sports. Like one guy who was an amateur golfer wanted to meet up with a golfing pro. For sex, bro? What? But yeah, that's what I'm saying. There is a system going on. And the more that people stop trying to get views and actually look at what's going on and assess what's going on and look at it for yourself and don't worry about talking to a camera,
Yeah.
you're going to start figuring out a lot of shit that's going to matter, and the situation will start to be solved. Because right now, if you ask me personally, here's what I think is going on. And like I said, I have shit to back this up. I think they're talking to each other through Google Earth, using green screens, and the ability to hack and edit stuff on these green screens they post on Google Earth. Before Google goes and takes its pictures to update the map on Google Earth, they probably got people that go and post up these cheap ass green screens on places like billboards or walls or something, and then that Google Earth car can stop and do it while they're on the route. Then the hacker can come in and hack the actual billboard without paying for it in real life and just use it through the internet, which is where everybody does all their dealings anyway with that shit. All these dark web shit, it's all risen to the surface web, so it's harder to find. And it would be harder to notice if it's a new form of how these motherfuckers talk. And I know what you're thinking, well, why would they do that? Because that is them communicating without incriminating their self.
Exactly.
They're advertising digitally through the internet. They ain't got to spend no gas. They ain't got to even get up off their ass. Nor do they even have to speak actual words that will incriminate them. Therefore, they're technically not incriminating themselves if they're not saying anything. Because what do they do usually when they got you all hemmed up? They say, is this your conversation? Is this what you said? How you going to do that with a green screen? Are you going to hold a picture of a green screen and go, is this what you said? Yeah, it's not going to work like that. You want to stop sex trafficking? Okay, well, you got to stop the communication. How do you stop the communication if you don't know how they're communicating? If I say something like this and everybody's like, oh, dude, you're fucking crazy. Well, what are you going to wait 20 years to find out they were talking to each other on Google Earth using green screens? Why do you think last year 2 fucking Google Earth cars was in high-speed chases with the police? I mean, come on, man. Their job is to update the map of the world. Why are they running from the cops? I'll leave you on that. If you want to continue this conversation, let me know in the comments below.
Man. Yeah, that's some food for thought right there, man. Church always comes with the thoughtfulness with these. And the miscommunication that we talked about in this video, I think that is a big problem. The way that there's so many different arguments that get thrown around instead of centering in on the big fact of something and allowing that to lead you to the smaller things inside of it. That is the reason why these things are able to go on. Talking about the coded language and everything like that, I've known about that for a very long time. I've looked into that for years, man. Just stumbled down rabbit holes on YouTube about it and really started looking into how those things are communicated and shit. And it can be as simple as, like he said, flashes on a billboard that's hacked real quick and stuff like that. It could be as simple as posters, right, in a store or something like that, right? Missing posters can actually also be used for communication. In a lot of instances, that is a way that they can communicate with each other, is the actual missing posters that are out in the stores and everything like that. So that's something that you have to look out for as well. There's so many layers and ways of communication that are coded in society since its history. Coded language has been used by people that were a lot of the time in very high up places doing things that are absolutely horrific and disgusting. And they hide it in plain sight and nobody wants to believe it. And then when it comes out 20 years later that it was true, everybody's scratching their heads like, oh, how did we not figure that out? And I mean, it's because we're arguing too much. It's because we're not focusing on the primary factors of things, and we're allowing ourselves to go too many small directions that aren't even leading to a proper answer or a close answer. I appreciate what Church had to say about this, and the P. Diddy situation is absolutely insane. I guess we'll see what happens with that. I think we all know the truth and we all know the facts of the matter, so there's that. But we will see what happens with that on a worldly spectrum, I suppose. I love you guys so much, Creek Squad. Thank you for tuning in. Church with an important one right here. We're going to get out of here. I'm Vakasa Kabi. I love you guys so much. Thank you for all the support in my recovery. I wish you guys a blessed night. Thank you so much for everything. Peace.